Okay, so this is part 2. It's Angela, Power Disney, Angie, talking to my soul sister, Colleen Black, from Tacoma, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we're just talking boys, discos, and makeup, but
I love dancing.
it's kind of deep and relevant as well at the same time. So we've talked about like the rules, and we've talked about the differences between how men and women get soul tied, and I've mentioned to Colleen a book called Women Who Love Too Much, and even I noticed in the 12-step movement in America, at least, they have sort of love and romance addiction support groups and stuff like that for that very thing, where we keep investing vast amounts of energy and time and love and, giving everything we've got in a relationship that's kind of not quite giving back.
Yeah.
So, that's just interesting to me. So you're going to meet this other lady. I've heard in this day and age of cyberspace, I've heard so many stories of where the guy gets busted because his 5 different girlfriends all find each other.
They've made some sitcoms out of that stuff.
And there's like,
this gets richer and richer as the story goes on, Angie. I swear, it's like
okay.
I was actually because
I shouldn't laugh, Colleen. I'm not laughing.
No, I'm laughing inside. I'm laughing inside. Trust me.
All right, keep talking. I'm listening.
I have been laughing inside quite a bit lately.
But I know it's agony. I've been there. I know it's agony. So keep talking. I'm listening. I'm just going to set the clock.
Yeah. So, all right. So we were on this plasma trip, where we went out to this farm and we were.
Now this is not with the guy.
Am I going back? The what?
When you say we were on this trip, you're not talking about this guy. You're talking about your work colleagues.
Yes. I had met with Steve. Oops, I said his name. It's
okay. That's okay. There's lots of people called Steve. So anyway, so this guy was doing, just being evasive and always doing super busy stuff. And meantime, you went on a work trip, a business trip.
Yes, I went on a business trip, and we had it's an ongoing event kind of a thing where we went to help out this farm, and what happened on the farm was amazing. There were just a lot of things that, amazing things that I can't, I can't even wrap my brain around myself at the moment. There were things that I could see, like I could see people's auras and their colors around the auras, and I had never been able to see that before. They had a mist thing there, and in the mist I could see all of this stuff going on, and it was just incredible because with what we're studying in science, I understand kind of a little bit more every day about what this is and what we all are. So it was a beautiful experience, but anyway, I learned a lot on the trip about the relationship thing, and like I said, when I got back from it, I just broke up with him. And
so on the trip, you met somebody and had some chemistry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we're back to that one. I forget where we are. So
and then you came back from the trip and you broke up with him, and he didn't get in touch, and then one of his girlfriends gets in touch and says, hey, there's a few of us, and by the way, would you like your painting back? So bring me up to speed there.
She just wanted to get my painting back to me.
That was kind. That's a nice thing to do.
I know. She sounds like a wonderful lady.
Yeah.
Wonderful lady. Yeah. So I can't wait to meet her, but it's kind of a bittersweet thing. It's just kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll go with the flow. If there's anything I can do to help, I will, and I'll just talk to her, because, like the things that we're involved with, like,
No.
and the story is just so whacked because, like the stuff that we're involved with in our physics class is all, helping to take down the pedophile ring. Mr. Cash was involved with a lot of stuff that was going on and didn't even know it. When he found out, he was in the middle of it and they were trying to kill him and do all kinds of
I don't really know that whole story. I read briefly about it, that he was like in the lion's den without realizing it, and then he testified, didn't he? Didn't he give help? Didn't he help bring down the pedophile ring in the end?
He continues to, because he just puts it out online. He puts it out on his teaching. He just puts out all the information right there, and then hundreds and thousands of people are listening now. So it's just it's spread everywhere, and he's just let over there. There's like the main ones that came in. It was a guy that wanted to patent some of his work, and so he came in and he basically had an agenda, and his agenda was to do what they always do with scientists and take their work and put it under a patent and then sell it.
Yeah.
They have lots of different tactics. There's lots of tactics they use to hide information that should be free to the public. So Mr. Cash started to see through this, and he started to want to go his own way because he saw a better way to do things for everyone. And when he started to do this, they started to make threats, and and he started to find out who was who. This one guy, DL, I can't remember his full name right now either. I'm just bad with names today. But he was head of the pedophile, but I don't want to say head, but he was just doing a lot with pedophile ring over there in Belgium. So, huge.
Wow.
They ran a puzzle piece company or something like that, where they would get children to sign up. He would ask for pictures of children, and then they would send in these pictures of children, people, because we're all parents and we think that it's great that our children want to enter into beauty contests or whatever it is, or, and stuff. So these people were sending in these really cute pictures of children. They would get free movie tickets, and then they would be abducted from the movie.
It's so simple. It's so simple to real people. It's heartbreaking. It takes advantage of people like us that are empathic and compassionate and naive. It's like, oh, well, let's just rape them then, even over cyberspace. It's like, I have to tell you just briefly, there's a weird development in the Hampstead case. I don't know if you've checked it out. I don't know.
With the Super Bowl?
Yeah, what do you think?
Sure does look like her.
It does, doesn't it? It does.
Yeah,
It's difficult. It's difficult to know. It does look like her. And I know that there's software that could probably check that out. You know how they do these biometrics when you go through the airport? Your ex would know all about this stuff, right? They take a photograph of your face and it's like an ID print. So surely, it may have been deliberate that her face is covered with a helmet and this and that. But I just wonder if there's software that could establish, is that her or not, It's quite...
I'm sure there is. I'm sure they have.
But at the same time as well, I know with the Madeleine McCann case in Portugal, they kept doing that to keep the public pumping money into the crowdfunding and to keep the public not considering the possibility that Madeleine McCann had been murdered, probably a few days before she was even reported abducted. So I know there's been, since 2007 with this Portuguese case, they keep saying, is this Madeleine? And they'll show a picture at some sports event, and then everybody will get excited and think, oh, it really looks like her, it really looks like her. And like, there's a lot of doppelgangers around the world. That's the other part of it. It's like, it might not be. Do you know what I mean? It might not be. So I didn't know about that. But the reason I wanted to record this with you as well was not just to leave you in agony of like, oh my God, I just found out, you know, because you're not the first person to tell me that.
I'm okay.
I've got another girlfriend that moved her whole family from America to England because she thought she was in love with this guy. And they all moved over there, and then she started getting red flags and thinking, no, I just imagined that. No, I'm just being oversensitive. No, I'm being a little bit jealous. And then, like, no, he actually has 5 other women that he's promised everything else. You know, even though you're living with him, your mother's living with him. It's like your stepfather's living with him. You've moved your whole life for him, but he has other 4 women in the background. And those 5 women finally, I think they're all in a support group on Facebook.
I can only imagine. Oh, Angie, you know, like you talked about getting married, and I was considering all those possibilities. I mean, I was really thinking about moving to Vegas, you know, and then
why Vegas? Why Vegas?
I don't know. He likes Vegas. He liked to go to the shows and stuff, and I like the Vegas shows, but I went back there again, and there's no way I can live there. I need horses.
Dream. It was like, oh, we'll go to Vegas. Okay.
Country girl. Yeah.
Well, the thing I haven't dared to say, and I'm still the empath. The only reason I tease you is because I know exactly where you're coming from, I think. But so my reservations about speaking out are, you know, he's still got a court case pending, and he could end up in jail, and he could end up killed, you know, and all that. So the sort of nurturer in me thinks, well, let me just keep my red flags to myself. But the other side of it is that he's already thrown me under the bus. I made a joke about it and said, I'm so naive about being thrown under the bus, I have to be underneath writing down the chassis number before I believe it, you know? So I just want to speak it out loud, because I've got it in my head already, like, who is Rupert? You know, and one possibility is he's a high-level government operative. He's a high-level dispatched saboteur to discredit the Hampstead case because it's probably connected to Pizzagate in Washington and Portugal and Belgium and Ireland and so on and so forth. So just on that level, he and this is one of the things, he begged me to make all the videos private, but he had disclosed that his grandfather was the doctor to the entire Federal Reserve. His grandfather was on a board with Rockefeller. His cousin is chief aide. He's an aide to the chief of staff of the American military, or he was when Obama was still in power. His father has worked in the Pentagon, in the CIA place down the road, Langley, and all the rest of it, because they live in Virginia. His parents have played in the White House, you know, when George Bush was inaugurated. And there's all these like Pentagon, CIA, White House, military connections, Rockefeller, Federal Reserve. There's all these like connections, but I try not to judge people just based on that, because I've got connections that would make you freak out. If you didn't believe me that I was an MK Ultra asset, you would think, oh my God, she's got Rothschilds on her friends list. She's like Romanovs, BCCI, CIA funded bank. And oh my God, look at this and look at that. And so a lot of people judge me by my connections. So I kind of thought, okay, so he's got all this background that looks really suspicious. but let me not judge. And then, so I think, was he sent over undercover as a CIA saboteur to do a honey trap on me? Like, he came, you know, I contacted him this makes it look unlikely, because I contacted him and said, you know what, you've done a couple of really good videos on the Hampstead case. Do you think you could help us? And I'm thinking he could help us by doing some more really good videos. And he says, oh, sure, I'll come over to London. And I'm like, okay. He's like, oh, yeah, I have student loans that are outstanding, I'm getting hassled for, and like, I'm in the place in my life, I'm in a crossroads kind of place, so it would really suit me to travel. You know, and to be honest, I don't really want to come back to America till after the inauguration, which was a weird thing to say. And so he's like super keen to come over and do a documentary and investigate. So then in the meantime, I inherited some money. So I sent him, like, I don't know, first of all, I sent him $1,200, which was enough to fly to London and back. And I said, I'll fix you up accommodation with some of the campaigners. And, you know, but then he used that money, or a lot of it, he used it, and he went via Italy for 5 weeks to do another gig. And I was like, you know, that's a bit weird. I sent you money because you said you wanted to come and help investigate Hampstead, and now you're in Italy on another job. And he was like, oh, well, what do you want? You want your money back? I'll give you your money back. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, it's okay. It's just a bit weird. And then he said, right, I need to go to Amsterdam to see a fan that's invited me just to unwind a bit. So then he goes to Amsterdam and he has an accident on a bicycle and he ends up staying a month. And then I had said to him, just come to Spain for 2 weeks and I will brief you on 1.5 years research. And then off you go to London and do your thing. And he came to Spain and he didn't have any money. So he ended up having $2,000 off me in total, right? And then he didn't seem to want to go to London, and he didn't seem to want to work on the case. And then he was like, kept triggering me. It felt like he was grooming me almost. Like, he's 22 years younger than me, but he would play love songs and he would call me pet names and he would compliment me. And like, we weren't physical at all because I drew boundaries. I just said, look, you know, there's nothing other than just a working friendship going on here. But he came over and I fell hook, line and sinker. If there's such a thing as a honey trap, I waded, I went swimming in it. No, not
Sweetheart.
My heart. It's like every morning he's playing love songs and he's complimenting and he's making me laugh and he's just being so cute. And so, like, you know, I just fell for it every way, except for I just thankfully protected myself physically. And he was very physically uptight as well. He very much acted like a survivor. You know, he very much acted like if you touched him unawares, he would nearly kill you.
Yeah.
You know, and the I'm not trying to trash him here, but the other red flag I got was when he was in Italy doing the filming, he was sending me messages saying, oh my God, I'm so freaked out. This guy is trying to get in my pants. This guy must be gay. He's after my body. He's like, he keeps walking around in his underwear. And I'm like, this is Europe. We do that. I'm like, that's not weird in Europe. I don't know about but it was a bit disturbing because he was really blacklisting the guy and making the guy out to be some kind of a creepy pervert. And then when he was in Amsterdam, he said, oh, I just need to take my time getting over there because I know you're going to be my next blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, if you're coming over here with a preconceived notion that I'm going to be your next perpetrator in your head, don't come. And he's like, no, 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 no. But then he did exactly that. He came over and then he was messaging people saying, oh my God, she's creeping me out. Oh my God, she's like got the hots for me. Oh my God, this is so freaky. Get me the fuck out of here and so on. So it was like I got victimized, the same as the guy before me got victimized. And the only thing I can't figure out is, did he do it consciously? Did he do it on purpose? Or, you know, the way you were trying to rationalize and you were saying to yourself, well, we were on a break, it was 5 years. My mind is rationalizing, saying, well, maybe he's a survivor, deprogramming, and, you know, maybe he's just hypersensitive and thinks everything means somebody wants to rape him or something, because there was never any sexual content, but I couldn't help falling in love. So that's all.
It's not a matter of anything but a question of integrity at this point. You know, like it was when you woo anybody, when you know, like if a guy comes up to me and says something like you're beautiful or whatever, I can take a compliment and I can say thank you, you know, but if they push it a little further and they keep pushing things, there comes a time when you have to say what you want to say, if it's no or yes, you know? And
it's like mixed signals all the time. It was like mixed signals. It felt like
you didn't draw any boundaries.
Like you were falling in love. It was like, why are you calling me pet names? Why are you playing me love songs?
Right on.
You know, why are we laughing more in a month than I laughed in 10 years of marriage? Like, what is going on? It was weird.
Yeah, and he took you for some stuff. So I get the feeling that he was a little bit more after. He had an agenda, but
okay.
You know,
okay.
It's just it's.
Well, it was just
I don't know if it was really
$2,000. $2,000. Surely somebody wouldn't do that. Why would somebody play with your heart for $2,000? Why would they value themselves so cheap?
Hang on just a minute, because there's a lot more to it. You know, like, you're a beautiful person. You've done so much good, and I'm sure that there were feelings of admiration there. But it was more of a, you know, like with Jack, I have feelings of admiration there, and it's just beautiful. And he fell from above me, you know, and I had to explain to him like 100 times, Jack, there's no way, you know, and it got frustrating sometimes. But I did it. But I stepped up to the plate, and I made sure that I never took anything from him, number one. You know, like that. We always had an agreement, like, okay, if I'm going to stay here, I'm going to make sure that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I do this so that, you know, like there's always a line of reference where if you cross the line, I'm allowed to come, you know, here's where we go, you know, and things, but it's got to be that way. And whether you bring it up or he does, one of you has to come to the forefront and just say something, you know, just say, because that's what happened with this guy, this magical, freaking beautiful guy.
Right, before we get off the good news, just to complete that circle, are you still staying in Jack's basement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still trying to sell my art to get out of here. So anybody that would be interested in any of the sculptures or paintings that are on my website
are stunningly, amazingly beautiful. But it's like, wow. And it just reminds me of my ex-husband. Even though I left him in 2001, I didn't get around to divorcing him until about 2008, something like that. And so everybody thought, including my ex-husband, oh, there's a chance that we were going to get back together. And I'm like, no, I just don't have the money for solicitors. It's like, no, we're definitely not getting back together. But the very fact I didn't divorce him for quite a long time, some men kind of listen to your actions rather than what you say. They don't really believe what you say.
No, they don't, and it's not fair, you know, especially when, but maybe it's a matter of us stepping, you know, putting a foot down.
So,
I just put my freaking foot down and just said what's on my mind, and it's pissing me off.
But what we say, it doesn't seem to make a difference. That's what my general manager said to me. He said, I don't care if you told Saeed Chowdhury 100 times that you're not interested. The truth is you went on a business trip with him to Dubai. And I'm like, but it was a business trip. And he's like, you knew he, had feelings for you. You shouldn't have gone there.
That
So
is,
just to be clear, you think that Rupert had an agenda to do with admiration for my work, and
he wanted to travel around. It sounds like he just wanted to see the world. He was innocent in a way, and stuff. But he was doing his own thing. He wants to do his own thing. He's an artist.
You don't think he was a CIA? You don't think he was a CIA agent?
I think he knows a lot, and I think that he's been manipulated in a way to make him travel down that road of being a manipulator himself, and almost
the narrative he's trying to put out there is that he only came to Europe to go to Italy, to do some righteous filming, and this crazy lady in Spain lured him into her web and then crashed his life and threw him to the dogs. And it's like, what?
Wow. Ouch, I'm so sorry.
Anyway, so I got it on that. So tell me the good news. Tell me about the new guy.
Just chalk it up as oops,
It hurt. See, you say that. You know how you've loved that guy for 5 years? It's like when I trust somebody, he stayed in my home for a month. When I trust somebody, my heart is on my sleeve. It's like I'm here, I'm innocent. What do you need? How can I help you? How can I make your life better? It's just, it hurts. But anyway, I'll let it go. Tell me the good news. Tell me about the new guy.
Oh, Angie, I wish I could give you a hug.
It's okay.
Oh man.
It's okay. It hurt. It does hurt. Because it makes me feel stupid.
You weren't stupid. You weren't stupid at all. You're a beautiful human being. And I felt stupid when I felt like, Steve just threw everything away. He didn't really care. He may have 50 women in his harem. I have no idea. I don't know that so far so before. But if I find out that news, it's gonna make me feel pretty cheap and pretty used and pretty just emotionally spent, because I really put my heart out to him.
We just have to treat it as a learning curve. So tell me how you moved on. Tell me about this new guy, and if that is that healthy? Is that real?
I don't care. It broke me out of a spell. I don't give a crap if it's. It feels real healthy and it feels real. So that's all I'm going by. It's just whenever I go by what everybody else says, I always fail. So I'm not going by what everybody else says.
I say we have to follow our heart, but where does our heart lead us? My
heart has good intention. It always has. It's always for the better of all. I'm really fighting for all kinds of beautiful causes, and I'm going full steam. I don't care what anybody says. I'm just doing it. And watching people's dreams come true. The woman that was doing the horse rescue stuff has gotten. She may get we may get one more horse now. We don't have a place to live, but the horses do. So we're trying to find a place to live to really get that part of it going. And the hemp adobe sculpture stuff is all, that whole heart of plasma plan is just going. So, I met Martin in.
You said his name. Hey, Martin. I got my eye on you.
In Oregon, and it was kind of a shock because he just saw me reacting to something that was going on, and he just figured that he was like, I noticed you were really thinking in there, and so we just started this conversation. I swear, I looked into his eyes, and they just went you know, and just there was an instant connection.
The
like
eyes, the eyes. The eyes are the windows of the soul. I swear to God. And when this is why I wonder if it's artificially orchestrated, because when there's that eye thing and that instant connection, it's like,
there's more than that.
and I used to say to Rupert, what the fuck is going on? And he'd say, oh, it's not love, it's just magic, it's just neurological. It was almost like he knew too much.
Yeah, because you know what? There is another side of that, and it's the one that you get when you look into somebody's eyes and you get scared of them. You know, like your heart goes.
Oh, scared. I felt like he had the eyes of Jesus. I told him, I said, you have Jesus eyes. But,
okay.
But there is a thing where, especially around high level elite government people, whatever, there is a thing where they can release drugs and they can orchestrate that thing. It's called like a love bite, Cupid's arrow, whatever. They can release drugs and they can set up neurologically, scientifically, to make you hook up with somebody that you probably wouldn't hook up with at all, you know? So anyway, so back to Martin. So the eyes.
Yeah, well, he just has incredible eyes, you know. So, anyway.
Are you dating?
I talked to him. Well, here's what happened, because we were just talking the whole time. I was just talking to him. He just was fascinating, doing some amazing things in his life. And so we were just talking about life, and just watching the stars. It was really pretty out there. I was out in nature. I didn't have my cell phone. So I was just getting back to everything. There was a beautiful river there nearby and big mossy trees. And so I was just having the time of my life with my daughter there. Angela was there. My other one could have been there too, but it was just the two of us this trip. And then anyway, we were doing all the whole what we came to do, kind of, you know, but there was some weird stuff that went on with that. But anyway, by the end of the stay that we were there, we were kind of invited to leave because the couple was going through some personal issues. So they needed us to go. Which they have been resolving very well, and everybody's doing great there, you know. But anyway.
No, I missed that. Who's resolving what?
Well, the couple that had the farm they were going through some relationship issues, so they had to cut our stay a little short because they needed some personal time. Wow. So, you know, there was a lot going on. Yeah,
really, like the best laid plans of mice and men. Life is going on, and then relationships. Human beings mess it up.
Human beings mess it up. I know. We do weird. Yeah.
That's the end. Tell me. Just, we've got about 2 minutes left.
I left there, and I just had this like, you know, and I told you that other part of the story where I came home immediately, broke up, and then the guys at the farm, I thought they had looked, you know, they were looking at my heart of plasma plan. So, and it was a perfect freaking property. It was just beautiful. I just thought, I could help you build sculptures on here. At some point, I'll buy my own property and live somewhere else. But in the meantime, I can help you with all kinds of plasma stuff and build sculpture or do art here. And, you know, I just wanted to hook them up. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah, we do that. We just want to give everything everywhere we are. I get that.
I just want a stinking home. I have not had a home in so long that I'm willing to like do anything, you know, but I don't want to do that too. I know.
I hear you.
Somebody can take me off and take all my art and go again, you know, and that's just what happens.
So just bottom line it for me. Where does Martin live, and are you guys dating?
Yes. And he's in Oregon right now.
How far away is that?
5 hours away.
Oh, shit.
I know, and I can't get to him. And I couldn't find out that he would like me even because he was way younger, like way younger than I've ever dated before. But he's an old soul. So it's just the stuff that we talked about. But you know how I approached it? I approached it as, hey, Martin, something's weird going on. something's going on, you know, I don't know what it is, but I have these things that are trickling into my head. And I said it real, you know, gentle. I didn't say, you know, hey, baby, I want to take you out back and whatever. Later. But the you know, in the beginning, it was just very, very gentle. And I fully expected him to say, whoa, you know, you're like my mom or something like that. And so I just thought, well, if that happens, that's okay.
Yeah.
Friends.
And he's not married or anything like that?
No.
Okay, look, we're going to do a part 2 after your meeting on Thursday.
Okay.
And we'll do another girls' discos and makeup. And we might do like a really intelligent, arty one, but I love boys' discos and makeup connections as well. And
I was singing when I was gonna go down there to that farm, you know, because there was a little bit of there's just a lot going on there right now, so they have to resolve a lot of issues that are happening, you know, and it's just something that I think I need to have my own place. I don't want to.
You do, of course you do. You do. But
yeah.
the recording's ending, Colleen. Sorry, it's limited for 40 minutes. So let's connect at the weekend.
Okay, sounds good.
And I love you.
I love you too. Yeah, and you just take care of your little pea-picking heart. Because you're going to find the man of your dreams. I know you will. They're out.
No, I want him to find me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's much more fun.
All right, sweetie. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.